Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Pradipto. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. So nice to see you. And
The
the
pleasure
people
is
are
all
all
mine.
joining in. Uh,
So, how many people have joined as of now?
I think so.
59.
Whatever. But people just join, said, it's
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
yeah. So we are about to another 2 to 3 minutes yet to go
All right.
to be five. So we'll start right at five.
Yes, yes.
And I'm sure all the people who have registered already will be joining. I'm sure about it.
Yeah, yeah. They keep coming in 5, 10 minutes late,
Yes,
here,
yes,
there,
yes,
whatever.
absolutely. And at the same time, it is live streaming on
Yes,
a Facebook also.
yes, yes, yes.
This is a very nice and interesting session, which I really long to hear about it for a long, long time.
I hope I'm able to meet your
Oh,
expectations.
yes, absolutely. I'm sure about it. We will do that.
Though it's a very general topic,
I know.
but then it's a very general topic, but then, it is an important topic.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, how is Mumbai? You're all
Um,
badly locked up inside your houses.
yes, but Mumbai was getting better, but the number of people affected is too many. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
today it is quite a bit of it got opened up.
Okay.
People, but still, people are scared also at the
Oh,
same time.
yes. Oh, yes. Even you and I are scared.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So our Mr. Sharma is also over here. Good
Oh,
evening.
I have all stalwarts here, actually.
It's a real small world. Huh? All of
I
us
know.
can so close to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
So, okay.
Shall we?
Uh,
It's 5 minutes, 3 minutes past 5 now.
Yes, we can start now.
okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Lata. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All the people, those who are here on the Zoom as well as on Facebook, welcome to all of you. She's the most dynamic personality I've ever seen who does not restrict herself to the school management only, but also gets herself involved in making learning most creative and innovative. Her constant guidance to the staffs of Birla Vidya Niketan Delhi has made her the most liked principal. She has written manuals for CBSE like elementary science teaching, digital essentials, and hubs of learning. Initiated BVNIAPT Anveshika and chairs its Delhi chapter, a very enthusiastic educationist who believes in herself learning each day and the holistic development of children. She works with a team of teachers and leaves no stone unturned to reach to the higher levels. We welcome you, ma'am, to take us through today's session. Please take over.
Thank you, Pradipto. Thank you so much for all the kind words that you have spoken about me. And I am actually humbled. A very good evening to all happy people in my happy classroom. A warm welcome to each one of you. I'll just share my screen. Yes. Now, this is my happy classroom with all the happy teachers. And it is actually the happy teachers who make the children and the people happy in their classrooms. So teacher is one of the most important entity in the classrooms. As I talk about my presentation, there'll be three segments. The first one will talk about what's a happy classroom. The second one will talk about the happy classroom in the new normal times. And the third one would talk about the happy classrooms post-lockdown period. So these are the three situations. And in each of the situation, you know, the classrooms have to be happy. There is no if, no, but. And the credit goes again to us to take it to that level. Now, as you look at the screen, I think it says all that I want to say, that what is a happy classroom? It doesn't need any definition. Just look at the body language of children. Just look at the smiles, the confidence, and each one and everyone is participating. If our classroom looks like this, we can just close our eyes and say, yes, I have a happy classroom. But you know, making a class happy with 20, 30, 40, whatever number of children is not an easy thing to do. Trust me, it's a task. And we teachers have to put in a lot of ingredients. We teachers have to make a lot of efforts to make our classrooms happy. The first thing I would like to mention is that we must know about the backgrounds of our students. Each student has a story behind him or her. He's coming from EWS background. He's coming from a broken family. He's coming from a family where he's so much pampered. He might be neglected. There's so many things. And if the teachers know about the backgrounds of the children, it becomes easier for them to handle each child. And you know, you can give kind of individual attention to each child if you know their backgrounds. And then it helps that you are able to take the child forward in a better way. Play to students' strengths. It's very important. You must know the strengths of the children, each child individually, and you have to kind of, you know, play to that. Now, for example, if a child is good at singing, good at music, but he's not good at academics, not good at all, just not interested. So what you need to do is that, because you know his music is his hobby and he's passionate about, so what you can tell your student, okay child, you listen, you study, you read the chapter, you come prepared and convert it all into a musical form. Compose a music or something like that. Trust me, the child will study, self-study the chapter and leave no stone unturned, because he has to ultimately convert it into something that he's most passionate about. And gradually he'll get, once he gets those appreciations and people like it, I think, you know, gradually he'll start liking studies. So if you play on the student's strengths, I think you've won half of the battle. Then share a common interest, common respect, trust, and admiration. This is again very important. You have to respect your children, you have to trust them, and you also have to admire them. Take them as they are, love them, admire them, and you know, this will come back to you. They will start respecting you, they will start trusting you, they will start admiring you, and ultimately it's, you know, a win-win kind of situation for both of us. Again, inquisitiveness is a very important ingredient. You can't be teaching everything to your children. But if you have made your children curious, inquisitive about the lessons, even they will study things which are not in the syllabus, they'll go beyond the book and they'll study, and it would be a kind of, self-studies pattern that will happen, which is, I think, the best methodology to learn and to study. One thing is very important, that never let the communication link between you and your students get snapped. Your children must have that trust in you. They must come back to you whenever there is an issue, good, bad, whatever. If that communication channel is open, again, your children will be happy being with you. And for all this, you have to just be kind to children and just be optimistic. Have faith. Be positive about the fact that, yes, they will not let you down. They will do well. And next I come to the fact that there are some principles also to make a classroom a positive classroom, a happy classroom. The classroom has to have those positive vibes. You have to be proactive. You are dealing with children. You're not dealing with robots or commodities. You're dealing with children, and they have feelings, they have emotions. And if you are able to manage their emotions, their feelings, they will be, again, happy to be with you. Then it is very important that you begin with the end in mind. You just try to visualize that 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, how do you want to see this child to be like? You want him to be a well-behaved person. You want him to be very intelligent, who thinks logically, whatever. You just have that end in your mind. And then from now, you move towards that end. And those micro steps, will actually help you take you to your child. And you'll have to know him at each step, his hobbies, his interests, and everything, so that you're able to put the first things first. You have to prioritize the positive choices. You have to understand that, what do I do first, that the child will respond in a better way to the next thing. So you have to prioritize the choices. You have to make plans. It's not easy, but then it works. Next, we come to, we have to always think of a win-win kind of situation. You are not always the winner, but ensure that your child is also a winner and you are a winner. It could be 50-50. You might be not very successful at all times, but even if you have won partially, I think that's quite a lot. And you have to understand your children, and you have to ensure that you are understood by your children. It is, again, mutual. They must respect you, understand you. Similarly, it doesn't happen on its own. You have to understand them first. Focus on strengths, I once again repeat, and sharpen the saw. You have to look after yourselves first. Be healthy, be mentally and healthy fit, and only then you'll be able to take care of others, be it children or your family members. Only then you'll be able to find a meaning, a purpose in your existence. So always do that. And trust me, happy classroom is a culture. It is a culture which the teachers can with ease develop. It's just a habit for the teachers. It's just some right things coming at right time. And children are, I think, very easy to be molded accordingly. Now I come to the next portion of my presentation. But before that, Pradipto, is there any question?
Not as yet, ma'am.
Not as yet? Okay,
No.
so I move on?
Please, carry on.
Okay. All right. So I was talking about the happy classroom, how to make a classroom happy, and how should the teacher behave, etc., etc. And now I come to the new situation. And but trust me, the classrooms have still be happy. It is not easy, again, and but they have to be happy, because we are dealing with future, and education, good education, must not stop no matter what. And teachers, you have done a fantastic job by overnight swapping your teaching model, teaching methodology, and you were most successful in doing that. Kudos to each one of you, and you need a lot of appreciation for that. But yes, it's a new normal, and the classrooms still have to be happy in this, even in this situation. Now, the remote learning has started. In none of the schools, I think, we were teaching remotely. It was a face-to-face classroom, and children were sitting opposite us, and we were talking, we were laughing, we were hugging, we were scolding, everything like this was happening in the classrooms, and we were so happy together. But the times have changed. We are in our houses, children are in their homes, and we are teaching. It is not easy for us. It is not easy for the children also. And coming to the next point is that, but this is the new normal. But trust me, always, whenever had been a change in the society, things were normal, and then something happened. Some people objected to some things, and a new normal started entering, and gradually the new normal became the normal. Trust me, this is going to happen here also, because COVID is going to stay here for 1 year or 2 years, and we have to continue teaching remotely. Sometimes we call children in school, sometimes, most of the times remotely, whatever. But this normal, this is going to soon become the normal. And if you really try to recall many of the evils in society, say the sati pratha and casteism and everything, they all existed in our society like very normal things. No one really thought that it's not right. No one objected to it. But then one day, great people thought that, no, this is not done. It's not a right thing. And they tried to abolish these systems. And that's where the new normal started pitching in. Everybody was shocked, what's this happening? And they started objecting. There were people happy, there were people unhappy, whatever. So new normal state, and gradually it merged in and became the normal. Today, we don't even talk of all these systems. That's how the system is. The society has changed. So similarly, this new normal will also gradually merge in a way that it will become normal. So amid the lockdown, e-learning has been adapted. Learning curve has replaced face-to-face teaching learning. The hybrid education model has come in, and we say we are heading towards a new future. But we have to do a lot of things to make it successful. It just doesn't happen on its own. We have to deploy innovations and technologies. We have to learn to make online lesson plans. We have to have varied methodologies, blended classrooms, flipped classrooms. We have to make videos. We have to what not. And we have to strategize student engagements to keep online attention span. Now, when in March, the lockdown started, we immediately overnight mobilized our resources. And we next day, trust me, next day we were ready with online teaching, be it be Zoom or flipped classroom, whatever. We were ready and we started. That was a time when, parents also appreciated us, children also appreciated us. And they said, wow, this teacher, though she's not able to teach very well, she still has to learn to balance the mobile phone or the laptop, and she has to learn, but we are so happy she's making an effort. So that was the time when we were mobilizing our resources, and everybody was happy and they were appreciative. Then came the next stage when we kind of, stabilized. We learned that what are online classes, how should I behave in my online classes, and how should it go on, etc., etc. Now that stage is over. We have stabilized. And now post-vacation, when the schools reopen, trust me, we will be into the strategizing phase. The mobilizing is over, the stabilizing is over, and strategizing has to happen. Because, now that period is over when people will pity and they will say, oh God, she's struggling so much, but at least still she's trying. Now we'll have to strategize our approach so that, because now people will start finding faults. They will start finding faults if we are still faulting. So this is the time when we have to be very, very, very careful and develop our strengths, because this methodology is going to stay for some time. We have to prepare ourselves in a very strong way. Otherwise, we'll just be making fool of ourselves. And that's not something that we all look forward to. Now, I just love this screen. The teacher whom I've said, she's a new normal teacher. She is so nice. And just look at her confidence, just look at her happiness. And she is like Durga, I would say. In one of her hands, she has a bulb with which she's enlightening the whole world. In one hand, she has a paper pen, she has a laptop, a mobile phone, remote, whatever, all those electronic gizmos are there. And she also has that pen paper in her hand. So, and she is actually, reminding me of a great COVID warrior, which you all are. You all have proved that you are great warriors who are fighting COVID. The doctors, the nurses, the paramedics, everybody is fighting from the front, and they are great warriors, I would say. The police, everybody, the delivery men, the list is endless, and they are all COVID warriors. But teachers, you also are great COVID warriors. They are working for the health of people, and you are working for the education of children. Health and education are the most important things for any society. So this is one group which is looking after the health, and you as the other group are ensuring that even in this mess, education must not stop. Salutes to you, teachers. And all the time, with all these things in your hand, you are creating a road to success. And that's something good about teachers. You are creating a powerful online interaction. You are creating a positive online environment and facilitating both growth and development. You are providing a rich, stimulating, and caring online environment. It's not easy, but you are doing it. You are imparting online knowledge by collaborative and experiential methodologies. The great tools of teaching, experiential and collaboration, experience and collaboration, you are taking these things forward even in those times of crisis. And trust me, if you are doing it well, there is a success only which I can see ahead. Now, when we talk of happy teachers and they create happy classrooms.
Can we just, sorry to interrupt in between.
Yes, Pradipta.
There are a couple of questions. Can we answer those questions, please?
Yes, certainly.
Okay. How to make assessments interesting for grade 1?
Okay. See, grade 1 students, first of all, they have to be judged on their behavior in the classroom. They have to be casually asked things, and we don't have to say that grade 1 students, tomorrow is your assessment and hence you come prepared. No. First of all, it has to be done on the daily basis, and the teacher has to be interacting with children online, be it be speaking, be it be seeing, whatever, and asking questions, talking about things. So there is nothing like you have to make assessments interesting, but you have to make your teaching interesting, and you have to involve children into it, and automatically you will be able to assess that who's learning, who's not learning, things like those.
This is quite an interesting question, ma'am.
Huh?
How to engage older students in a happy classroom? How to control behavior issues in older classes?
I think I was coming to this point in the later part of my presentation. But first of all, the younger or the junior or the elder children, they are all children. And we have to look after these children's mental health right from the beginning. Suddenly, it's difficult to have wonders done. So in fact, the whole school has to sing the same tune. And if children trust you, if children respect you, and if you are setting the limits of the classrooms, mutually setting, it's an agreement kind of thing with partnership of children, where they have suggested that we should do this, we should not do this. I see no reason that why will they not behave themselves, because it's their partnership in setting the environment.
Okay, ma'am, we can carry on. Thank you so much.
Okay, pleasure. All right. So when I come to this slide, I say happy teachers create happy classrooms, and trust me, and you all must have seen it also, that there is a strong link between happiness and success. Happiness leads to success. And for this, the teachers have to develop some competencies in themselves. In fact, if you see, CBSE has declared this year as the competencies building in education year. And because building these competencies are very important. So the personal competencies have to be developed, and the social competencies have to be developed. Now, when I talk of personal competencies, I talk of self-awareness and self-management. Now, self-awareness is very important. The teacher must know himself, herself. She must know her emotions, that which is the situation in which she kind of, gets flared up, gets angry, loses her cool, or which is the situation that she is so happy to be in. So, you have to actually know you have to be aware of yourself, your habits, your emotions, everything. And the second thing is self-management. You have to learn to manage your emotions, because things will happen. There'll be unpleasant situations, there'll be pleasant situations. It's normal, it happens. But then you have to learn to manage your emotions. If I read out the definition about self-awareness and self-management, it says that self-awareness is your ability to accurately perceive your own emotions in the moment, and understand your tendencies across situations. So you are aware that your tendencies across different situations would be like this. And if you know, then you will be definitely making an effort to control your emotions in those situations. Without self-awareness, it is difficult to develop or enhance your self-management, social awareness, and relationship management skills. Coming to self-management, it's your ability to use your awareness of your emotions to stay flexible and direct your behavior positively. So you must develop these personal competencies in yourself to be a happy, successful teacher. And then we come to the social competencies. We talk of understanding relationships and social awareness. Relationship management is your ability to use your awareness to your emotions, and those of others to manage interactions successfully. So it's not only that you understand your own emotions, but you have to understand the emotions of other people also. He is thinking like this. Okay, that's okay, he's right. And you don't have to be judgmental in this, but then you must understand and must be competent enough to understand other people. Then we talk of social awareness, which is again your ability to accurately pick up on emotions in other people and understand what is really going on with them. This often means perceiving what other people are thinking and feeling, even if you do not feel the same way. Social awareness requires that we stay focused and fully absorb the critical information the other person is communicating, verbally or non-verbally. So you are aware and you are absorbing. You are not bothered that the person is critical or non-critical, but you are perceiving and you are building your behavior on that. So these two competencies are very important because you are, again, I would say, dealing with children. There are some tricks for a happy classroom, and two very widely used tricks are the whale tone response, praise, 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 progress, progress, progress. But it doesn't mean that you praise child even if he has not done well. I mean, you have to tell him, but yes, don't fail in praising the child when he has done something good. Encourage him for that. And the second is, again, a very important thing, the redirection response. You know your children's strengths and weaknesses, and you have to discuss the errors and problems with their negative impacts. Children must be told that if they don't do this, then what will happen? Because they have not experienced things. You have to tell them. Now, for example, we say don't use drugs. Now, not all in our schools, or maybe 0.0001% of the students use drugs or whatever. But then we have to tell them. And with this, we have to tell them the negative impacts also. And continuing trusting and showing your confidence in them. They have their strengths. You just build upon them. I say this once again. So these two are very important tricks for a happy and positive classrooms. Self-reflections. Now, this is a mantra for all times. You have to occasionally, I would say frequently, close your eyes and visualize that how do you want to be remembered by these children 20 years from now. Nobody likes to be remembered as a bad human being, and you all want to be remembered in a nice way. But teachers, you have to work upon it so that 20 years down the line, when these children meet you somewhere, it's not that they take another route or go away, or they cross you without even bothered to kind of, salute, saying hello to you. No, none of us likes that. And so ask yourselves a few questions. Ask yourself a few questions. And am I behaving right? Is my behavior appropriate? Am I gaining that confidence and strength, confidence of children? And are children having trust in me? These are important things which you should frequently ask. Am I good to the child? Am I able to empathize? Am I able to connect with them? Are they able to come and share their problems with me? So many things. So occasionally, and if not very, very often, but at least once in a week, once in 15 days, you must do this self-reflection or introspection. The next trick comes in self-regulations of emotions. Now, again, when we are dealing with children, the regulation of emotions is very important because it's all the science of handling children with emotions. So self-regulations of emotions, and these two are very important, very useful methodologies which have been discussed in almost all books of psychology. One is the stop and the second is the care. This stop stands for stop, take a breath, observe, pull back and plan, practice what works, and proceed. Something not very pleasant has happened in class. I'm sure it happens almost every day. Something not very pleasant has happened. Don't react. Just stop. Don't react, don't comment, nothing. Just, stop yourself. Take a deep breath. Because that thing that has happened, that incident that has happened, would have actually driven you crazy. And you, anyways, at this point of time, lack oxygen, energy. So take a deep breath. With that, what will happen? You'll get more of oxygen. Your mind will get time to think, and you'll become calm. Then you observe that what happened, how did it happen? Think over it. Then you just relax, pull back yourself, and now plan. Because see, you can't let it go. You have to tell children or the child who has misbehaved, you have to tell him that this is not done. But you can't shout, you can't scold him, you can't beat him. You have to tell this to him in a very, very, very nice way so that he understands. So just relax and plan your behavior. Now, what you have planned in a relaxed kind of situation, it would, I'm sure, be something that is workable. And then practice what works and move on. The child will understand, and I'm sure he will never misbehave like that again. The next thing is care. C stands for the code of professional conduct to be followed. All institutions have this code of professional conducts written, but for the employees, but you make one for yourselves as well. That I will behave like this, I expect this, all that, you make a code of conduct for yourselves. Acquire knowledge about your students to be able to cope proactively. To be able to cope proactively, you have to have knowledge about your children. Reflective practices, which we were talking, help. And self-confidence also helps you in difficult situations. You have to be confident that I will do it. Not an issue. This happens. So move on that way. And E stands for engaging with colleagues, ensures that you are not in it alone. Very often we teachers don't want to share with other teachers. Sometimes we feel that, what will the other person say? She'll laugh at me that she's not able to control her class. Or sometimes we feel the others will not just help me. But trust me, if you engage with colleagues, whenever you're trying something new out and you want to try that out on children, it is always nice that you discuss it with your friends, with your teachers, that this happened and I'm planning to do this. What will happen? Maybe you will come to know that this happened with some other teacher also, and this is what she did. Was she successful or was she not successful? They might be able to tell you the kind of, gaps which are there in your plan. So what will happen is that when you go to your classroom with a practice, you are very sure that it will work. And anyways, even if it doesn't work, don't bother so much. But then there are all chances that it will work, because so many people have thought about it. And so many people can't be wrong, definitely. Then in this process, you have to decode the behavior of children. Whenever there is a misbehavior, it is a type of communication to you. It is telling you something which you need to listen and observe carefully. If you fail in this, trust me, if you fail in this, and right from a 5-year-old child, if teachers fail into listening to the communication or observing carefully, the problems mount up. And a time might come that they are beyond repairs. The student becomes a bully and things like those. Trust me, there are reasons that why children misbehave. There could be psychological factors, there could be environmental factors, there could be biological factors. In this COVID times, the psychological factors are huge. Children are not going out. They are stuck up, they are locked up into their houses, they are sharing their rooms with their siblings 24/7, and maybe the environment at home is not conducive, and they are not able to go out and vent out their energy. So all this is putting tremendous pressure, psychological pressure on children. There could be environmental pressures also, factors also. You switch on the TV and it's all negative thing coming. You look out, there's nobody outside. In fact, the entire environment is not appropriate. You look at your football court from your house down in the ground, nobody's playing and maybe it's not being looked after well. So it's the entire environment which is so negative, especially in this COVID times. This might have a very negative impact on the child's personality. And there could be biological factors also. There's something genetically wrong, quite possible. There is a chemical imbalance because of the psychological pressures and environmental pressures. There is something wrong. There's a chemical imbalance. Now, all these things do happen. And as a result, children misbehave. Otherwise, children don't want to misbehave. They are very pleasant people and they are happy-go-lucky. So listen to the communication which the child is unintentionally trying to communicate to you, and help the child. Focus on feelings, focus on psyche, mental well-being of the students, even during the class, online classes. Talk to them. When you talk to them, when you interact to them, when you look at the faces, there'll be many things that will come to know then and there. And please, please, please work upon them. We cannot have these kind of pressures being mounted upon on our little young children. They deserve better things. Now, as I was saying earlier, that online classes, there could be nasty things also happening, and some outsider barging into your class and writing something nasty or speaking something nasty, things like those, So together with the children, form the rules for the class, that children will come on time. No social abuse, nobody will abuse anybody. We will follow all cyber etiquettes. We will follow cyber hygiene. Let these things come out from children. And when these things come out from children, they become kind of guardians also. They ensure that the rules are not broken. And limit setting is very important in all situations, whether it is COVID time, non-COVID time. You're pampering children, you're liking children, you're not saying anything, but limit setting at any stage is very important. Now, this is a very cute picture. And if the bum is numb, the brain is the same. Your children are sitting in front of the computer. One teacher goes, the other one comes, speaks, talks, teaches, and goes away. And trust me, sitting on that chair the whole day or 5 hours, 6 hours or whatever, it's not easy. And the bum goes numb and the brain goes it's even more numb. So what is happening is, in your classroom, you must do things which kind of, keep the mind of the children active. Must keep on, keep on asking them some things, or make them think, get answers from them, ask them to answer through the chat box or raise their hands, things like this. Keep them active in your classes. You are probably the only key link to their outside world. They love being in your class, but you have to make it interactive. You have to make it happening. You have to make it interesting. And children should be active, even in online classes. Connect with them, communicate with them, trust them. Throw positive reinforcements and keep the students active. The next thing is that your children are somewhere and you are only seeing them online. Similarly for you, you are somewhere and your children are seeing you only online. So for this, involve parents. Parents are at home with children, and guide parents that how should they go about, involve them, and so that they can look after their children well at home, to the extent sometimes, you have to even tell them, stop fighting. Why not? We are all parents and teachers, they are all for the good of the child. Why not guide the parents? Sometimes they don't realize. Sometimes it happens that the child is studying and there is another baby crying at home, or the father is moving around here and there. Things like this are happening. They are unintentional, but guide parents that this is disturbing. The child is in school. Now, child is in school is a very interesting thing, because see, the buildings have closed. The school buildings have closed, but the schools have not closed. They are fully operational. Tell me one thing that has not happened. We have done everything that was marked in the calendar. So the buildings are closed. That's okay. But involve parents to take the school forward while children are at home. Okay. Next is that the lockdown will get over, and why that will be another crisis time. So we have to prepare ourselves for that.
Ma'am,
Pradipto, are
can
there
I
any?
just ask you a question?
Yes.
Will be fine.
Yeah.
How to ensure we are able to make a happy classroom, especially now, since teachers are conscious of parents watching the session?
Yes. See, it is the parents have come into our classrooms knowingly or unknowingly. So first of all, we teachers have to be very careful, very cautious of this fact. And you don't have to get scared, but then we are being maybe monitored, and somebody would come and say she didn't teach this correctly, this was wrong, the pronunciation was wrong. So we have to be conscious of this fact, and there's no harm learning that learning the better ways of teaching, learning good pronunciations and things like those. And at the same time, if you are empathetic, if you are teaching well, and the child is enjoying the classroom and is learning, I'm sure parents would ignore things also, because at the end, if the end product is fine, nobody objects to anything, be the parents or children. But then we have to be careful of this fact.
Correct. There's another question. How do we engage students with learning difficulties or special needs?
Our special educators should also be helping these children in separate sessions. That's very important. We can't leave our special children behind. We have to move with them. And then, all my classes should have something for everybody. One question, maybe a very simple question, goes to a special child, and a very difficult question goes to a child who's super brilliant. But when the specially enabled child is able to answer that question, I have to be very sure that this child will be able to answer the question. So when he is able to answer, I think we have won the battle. And maybe we can refer to the assignment that that special child has submitted. You just say that, take a couple of more names, and then say, oh, you did your assignment very well. And I was so surprised, and I was not surprised. I was so happy to see you doing so well. So again, the same mantra applies to them also, but special educator also should be taking sessions with them online.
Thank you. Please proceed, ma'am.
All right. Okay, so now the lockdown gets over, and we are back to school. That is another crisis time that would come, because children will come to school after so many days. They would like to cross all boundaries. They would like to hug each other. They would like to, maybe initially they would be scared, but then gradually, they're children after all, and they would start doing things, social distancing, all those things. We'll have to be very careful that all those things are in place. It is our duty. And like whenever you are taking a flight, the air hostess comes and always tells you what to do. If anything goes wrong, you have to follow this line, you have to take this oxygen mask and things like that, no matter you are traveling every day. So, these things will have to be repeated. every day. The parents will have to be counseled before children come to school about the do's and don'ts and how should they prepare their children's mindset and everything when they are coming to school. And children have to be sensitized. Children will have to be made responsible also. Because if children are made responsible, the results are wonderful. There are very less chances that they falter, and they look after each other very well. So it is very important that we take children with us, because handful of teachers can't manage so many children. They have to be disciplined on their own. They have to know about everything. Now, when the schools reopen after the lockdown period, it will be a different school. The classrooms would be different. They would be very happy classrooms, because children would be, trust me, very happy coming back to the classrooms. And we would also love to see children coming back to the classrooms. The buildings are really, not at all. I go to school every day and see such quiet corridors. Not a nice thing to see. And same as, we will be happy when children come back to classrooms, and children will be happy when they come back. But, we can't forecast the future, but we can plan for future scenarios. We have to make the SOPs. And we have to maybe collaborate with other schools also. The government, I'm sure, would also be giving SOPs, and we'll have to make our own SOPs, which would be a kind of, amalgamation of all the SOPs that we receive from here and there, because every school is a different kind of setup. Every school has something unique. So keeping all those things into mind, we'll have to make our own SOPs. And trust me, with every challenge, there is an opportunity. And we must take this crisis as an opportunity and reset our lives and the education system. We have to move forward. We have to see the way forward. We have to change our mindset accordingly. But yes, the hybrid system of education is going to continue. It has come, and we have found many good things in this also. The other day I was doing a career counseling session, and I realized that when I had it in my school, there was so much of preparedness that used to go in it. Shifting of furniture, informing police that these many cars will be coming, so be careful, and setting up the auditorium, things like mic, so many things. But then when I organized it online, it was so simple. And trust me, more parents joined, more children joined. So I've learned that now career counseling sessions should be done online way only. The PTMs, it is so easy to have PTMs. You can every day have a short PTM with a group of selected parents. Otherwise, PTMs were also a huge facade, I would say, that there were big events that needed to be organized. So there are good things which we need to learn out of this and take them forward. And the mantra is resilience and readiness. We have to be ready to adapt to that change, because life is nothing but a continuous change. And all these things which you see on the screen, they will have to be done to overcome the COVID-19 challenges. We have to be ready with the programs towards reopening of the school buildings. We will have to reboot educational system, restructuring of mindsets with the new norms. We'll have to reschedule the delivery of education, protocols and guidelines of social distancing and hygiene, training and capacity building to adjust the new scenarios, training of teachers, capacity building of teachers, and similarly for children also. Delivering effective education without compromising on quality, ensuring the emotional and mental well-being of students, teacher as counselor to build more trust and respond to students' dystopia, and we'll have to reorganize the curriculum also. So we'll have to reboot the life, we'll have to rethink, we'll have to reschedule, we'll have to replan, and together with our children, with our parents, we will succeed. And trust me, lockdown has opened the new door the doors to a new era of opportunities for online learning and developing new 5Cs classrooms. The 5Cs are connect, collaborate, care, concern, and compassion. Things may go wrong. We have experienced this. Things may go wrong. Videos might not play. It happens. I made a video with the whole night, and I sat and made a video to be shown to my students next day, and it didn't play. These things happen. Internet connectivity might often be unstable. You may make bloopers, but trust me, if you have that, if you have built that trust and confidence in your children will know that all this is new for you and it is challenging for you. And let me give time to the teacher, she will be successful. So be a role model for learning. Laugh at yourself when things don't work. Persist, have fun, be creative, learn, grow, stretch yourself, and enable happy classroom. And this too shall pass. Accept the change. This too shall pass. COVID is going to stay here for a year or two, but our children have to be groomed necessarily because they are the future of the nation and they are the citizens of the world for tomorrow. 1 or 2 years loss or neglect in their lives will really cost the whole world heavy. So as teachers, it's a huge responsibility upon us that we allow this time to pass, we accept challenges, we accept the changes, and we also accept that old ways won't open the new doors. We will have to create new ways and we will have to create new doors onto that. So I request once again, be happy and make your classrooms very happy. Enjoy being a teacher. I think it's a beautiful thing. We never grow old. We continue to remain with children. That's the best thing. And we must enjoy that. And we should be happy that we are a teacher. Take the challenge. You have huge responsibility upon you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We have a couple of questions.
Yes.
What are your suggestions for post-COVID classroom design?
See, first of all, the suggestions, the guidelines would be coming from the government. All right. So we will have to follow those because those ones would be really calculated ones and medically correct and ethically correct and all. And we will have to further build upon them as per our own setup. Less number of children, when they come to the class, when they come to the school, they have to be sanitized, and maybe we ask them not to bring their books and bags. And that's very important. Why should they carry extra luggage? We say no canteen, bring your own food. And we may also say that, okay, you come only for 3-4 hours. No food, nothing, you come study and maybe have something to eat. Bring your own water and everything and go. Because initially it will have to be like that. So we'll have to see how children are coming, and we will have to observe them very closely. The teachers would have to be trained for that as well, that how to observe, what to observe, read what is being communicated to you and act proactively.
Correct. Okay. There was another question, how to deal with the psychology of students once they come back, their emotions, since it will be a change for them again.
Yes. See, children have gone through and are still going through very bad times as far as their psychology is concerned. Somebody has a very bad environment at home. They, as I said, they have a small house and somebody on their heads all the time. Not somebody, one person, but many on their heads all times is not a very easy thing. So when they have not been able to meet their friends, They have not been able to play for so many months. So psychologically, I'm sure many would have dents in their personalities. But then I'm sure with our love, care, and understanding, we will be able to bridge the gap. It is only about understanding children. But yes, teachers will have to play a huge role. And even when they have to come, a lot of sessions will have to be taken beforehand, that to know children and kind of, work upon them. We have to be ready to welcome them the way they are coming and mold them into the way we want them to be.
Right. Okay, I don't see any other questions over here.
Okay.
Ma'am, on behalf of Aditya Birla Education Academy, I really, we are thankful to you for conducting such a wonderful session. Actually, as I told you right in the beginning, we have been hearing about happiness class quite a bit, but then we were not very sure about what happens. I mean, I think so whatever you mentioned today, quite a number of things teachers might be already addressing in class in a different way. But now when we put it on a particular structure, and I think so the classroom scenario will be much better than what used to be earlier. So I'm sure there is a lot of take back for this too. And anyway, thanks again, ma'am, for all your support and for conducting wonderful session.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. You're most welcome. Okay, thank you so much, and be safe and be happy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.